Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Jesse's Occupational Awareness Show. I'm your host, as always, Jesse, and I'm back with another highly requested video on a pretty important topic. I say that simply because I've had a lot of questions come from comments, and I've had a decent amount of personal emails sent to me from individuals who have yet to hire on, individuals newly hired on, and those who have since resigned and are looking to return to the profession there at TDCJ. Topic being advice for corrections officers. Now, I'll put the disclaimer right at the head of this. I'm not the subject matter expert for this. These topics that I've come up with are simply ones that I feel are some of the most important ones for a corrections officer. I can hear the OGs right now. These don't apply. They're outdated. What are you talking about? And that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That's one of the things about training. Training is always evolving. Evolution is definitely alive in it. And I'll also say I don't know the current state of TDCJ. I don't follow the website much. Occasionally it pops up on social media feeds. I know the uniforms have changed. COVID has definitely changed everything. So some of these things that I'm going to go over may not apply in the current state. However, a lot of it's going to. So sit back, get your favorite beverage, grab a snack, and let's listen in to what I have to say. Made up a little list here, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm going to break eye contact here and there. But this little list I've got is what I feel are 10 of the most important traits that a corrections officer can bring to the job. If you stick to these 10 traits, typically you could have a fairly successful tour with TDCJ. That's not to say that's always going to happen. I followed the majority of these, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for me. But there's videos of why that happened. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. Here are the top 10 things that make a good corrections officer. Starting off with number one, be knowledgeable. When I say about that, first thing is the academy. They teach policy. Okay? Back in the day, it's probably still like that now. You would get the TDCJ Corrections Officer Handbook, the handbook that the offenders get issued, as well as a whole slew of others. We learned about how to fill out forms for disciplinary procedures, and so forth and so forth. So when I say be knowledgeable, know the handbook, know the policies. When you get to the unit, and those that are on the units, you have post orders. Post orders are the standard operating procedure that you're supposed to follow when you're standing duty in either Gen Pop, Chow Hall, segregation. They're all over. You're required to read them and sign them on every shift. I think it's still like that. Know those post orders, follow them to the best that you can. Stand on policy. Number two, be professional. That's a big one. Okay. Part of being professional is wearing the proper uniform, having the best kind of attitude that you can, and in the way that your verbal and non-verbal language speaks. Like right now, doing this video, I'm going to break eye contact. I'm sitting up straight. My shoulders are squared, heads up. I'm not shaving, but it's Saturday morning, whatever. Versus, all right, here to do another video. We're going to do our, see the difference? I'm slumped, I'm slouched, okay? It doesn't look like I'm very interested and engaged in it. When you first walk into that unit, best believe all eyes are going to be on you. They're going to look at your uniform, your haircut, just your physical demeanor, how you interact with your partner. I say your partner because in segregation we worked in teams. And they're going to size that up immediately. If you come in looking frumpy, unkempt, already complaining, they're going to take advantage of that. So, present a positive attitude, fake it till you make it. False motivation's better than no motivation, as we used to say in the Marines. Use that, try to stick to it. Inmates are going to chisel away at it. Fellow coworkers, yes, that's a word. they're going to try to chisel away at it. Stick to it. Do it as best you can. It might even influence other COs around you to follow the same suit. Okay? Try. Try. Number 3. Oh, before I get too far, these are not ordered in precedence. Okay? One's not more important than the other. Just randomness that I came up with. Number 3, be assertive, not aggressive. What the hell does that mean? Aggressive tendencies, everyone knows what that is. You can put your own definition to it. Basically, voices raised, we're getting in each other's faces. There might even be some physical contact, chest to chest, fist bumps, something to that nature. Okay? You don't want to come in with an aggressive attitude. I promise you, COs are outnumbered by inmates everywhere. It's not going to work. Assertiveness, that's different. The main definition of assertiveness is engaging in an altercation or a conflict or a situation, sticking to one's guns, sticking to what you feel is right, and sticking to that situation until a better situation arises itself or until you realize you're wrong and it's time to move on with it. An example would be, we get ready to walk in, and let's just say supervisor's assigned me to the floor and has assigned Jones to the picket. We get inside and Jones says, "Hey Carter, I don't want to be in the picket right now. I'm going to take the floor. You go ahead and take the picket." Okay? Well, Jones, LT, he assigned me to be on the floor. He might have done that for a reason. Well, yeah, I know. He does that all the time. He wasn't paying attention to it. Go ahead and take the picket. Let me take the floor. Well, see, the thing is, I'm kind of new on the floor, and I'm pretty sure he assigned me here so that way I can get this experience, I can get this training. I need to be around these inmates. You can't really do that in the picket. Carter, get in the picket. Okay, Jones, I'm not going to do it. I'm here on the floor. You're going to get in the picket. Now, at that point, we got a problem. Okay, neither one of us are taken to our posts. Night shift hasn't got relieved. What's going to happen? Supervisor's going to get involved. Now, I can hear some people saying, "Oh, here comes the snitches." Okay, no. A lot of times, you do need that supervisor intervention. Now, if you cave and you go ahead and get in the picket, that could open up a can of worms. That could be a sign that you're a pushover, you're going to get pushed around. Why didn't he want to go in the picket? There's got to be a reason. You could even ask, why do you want to be on the floor? This is just one simple scenario. So it's sticking to your guns. And Jones might even say, "All right, man, whatever. Go ahead and take the floor. I didn't want to be down there anyway." And now you're moving on with what you need to do. All right? That's assertiveness. Number 4, learn to rest. This is an important one. Working at TDCJ is an extremely physical job. Mentally, physically. I worked at the 12-hour unit. It was 4 days on, 4 days off. I don't know how it is right now. I would get up at 3:30 in the morning, try to get to the unit by 5, work a 12-hour shift, wouldn't leave the unit till around 7 o'clock, get home around 7:45. I was usually in bed pretty soon after that. Now, that doesn't leave a whole lot of room for home life. I had the luxury of, at the time, not being married or having kids. I can only imagine how difficult that is, having kids around the house, trying to maintain a social life. The 4 days at work, those are for work. When you go home, rest, relax, dump, drink water, try and get some good sleep. Stretch as well. You've been walking all day, your feet are going to be sore. Stretch out a little bit, hot shower, relax, get some sleep. Try not to live too much of your personal life on your work days. You got 4 days off. That's plenty of time to do that stuff to it. What's going to happen? You'll get in a cycle. You're tired from the day before. You come into the unit, and it's not going to be any less than it was the day before. If you keep doing that, it's going to lead to burnout. Learn to rest. Look the part. All right? You have to wear your uniform. That's a no-brainer. You want to keep it looking good. The units offer free laundry service. Yes, they overstarch the uniforms. I know about that game. If anyone's curious about that, we'll talk about that later on a side note. Look sharp. Keep your hair looking good. You don't have to have the military buzz like I've got, but look good, look clean. For the men, have a good shave. Females, look the best you can. Wear that kill shield that gets issued to it. It does come in handy in a lot of situations. If anyone doesn't know what a kill shield is, you probably figure it out or look it up. So have those boots shined, that crease down the trousers, crease down the sleeves, good looking shirt. Just look good. Be proud of what you do. If someone asks you, why do you want to be here? What do you do? I'm trying to keep profanity down on this channel. What are you even doing here? Man, you don't want to do this. There's plenty of other things you can do. I'm here to work for TDCJ. They pay me every month. I got a job to do. I'm here to do it. Number 6, avoid cliques. Okay? Every unit has its own cliques. The cowboy hat wearers, the OGs who have been there since the unit opened, the I can't stand this place, I'm just here for the paycheck, what are the other ones? The RoboCops who just want to write every single infraction for anything and everything. Okay? Cliques form. People gravitate to it. It's kind of a hive mind setting. It's just individuals gravitate to each other, and it may work for them. Okay? If that's what works for them and gets them through, fine. I didn't fall into any kind of clique. There are inmates who are lone wolves. Others joined their gangs. There are also COs who were lone wolves as well. I was. I just didn't fit in with any of them. A lot of times, guys who were prior military, we tend to click up a little bit, but all we can really do is just tell war stories about our experiences. That was healthy. Usually in the mornings when I go to the ODR, there might be one or two other guys from the night shift that were on there, or other ones that were coming in for the day shift. We kind of gravitate to each other a little bit, vent about how the daily shift was, discuss about how events were probably going to fold out during the day. A lot of times they were negative, but it just is what it is. So that was helpful to have those conversations. What you don't want to get into is one of these toxic cliques or make enemies with these cliques, and they start making things difficult for you. I ran into that with the OG clique in SEG. Miss Sorrell, you know damn well who you are. I'm not going to get into it. It's a rabbit trail. Avoid the cliques, man. Stay who you are. Work the job. Go home. Collect your pay. And enjoy your time off when you get it. Don't fall in with them toxic individuals. Number 7, use the benefits at the unit. Okay, we did get a lot of benefits at the state. Yeah, the pay was shit, the medical was substandard, but at the unit, we had free food. Yes, it's cooked by inmates. So what? I ate it for 3 years. You know how many times I got sick? 0. I ate at the Juicy King Crab Shack about 5 miles down the road from here. 2.5 hours later, I'm puking and crapping my guts out. Food poisoning. All right? It didn't happen at the prison at all. So you got a better chance of getting sick at restaurants out in town. Enjoyed that. The commissary, I know COVID has made a lot of changes to it. Things aren't available. Shipments are slow. I get that. I'm speaking of the time that I was there, and if you do have a usable commissary, use it. I had pay pulled out each month. I had about $15. I think it was 15. It might have been 15 or 20. I had that pulled out of my pay each month and put on my books. I would go in there. When you go in the commissary, the corrections officer gets to the front of the line. Now, that doesn't mean inmates are going to move out of the way. They're not. You have to move in front of them. That's the assertiveness. They're going to say shit. They're going to balk. They put their hands on you. Oh, good times. We got assault coming now. And they're going to be freaking COs coming out of the ceiling. They're going to be jumping out of the walls ready to get into that. So don't worry about that. Inmates that do watch this, yeah, put your hands on me when I'm trying to get in that commissary line, man. I want my stuff. So go ahead and bump up to the front of the line. Get your stuff. You'll already have your slip filled out. Fill it out ahead of time. Don't be the individual that's there filling it out on the countertop. When you got you a break, when you got a little bit of downtime in the picket, go ahead and pick the items out. Get there, turn that slip in, they'll pass the stuff to you, take it home. There's nothing worse than getting off of a shit ass tour and having to go to the grocery store. Just not in the mood for it. The other problem with that, you don't want to wear that uniform around town. It's dangerous. It can make you a target. Wear it around the unit. Go straight to work. Go home. Okay? Do your shopping at the unit. Or if you got to, do it on your 4 days off. What else did I have on that? Oh, yeah. Haircuts. Use them, prison barbers. They're good. They know what they're doing. They've been cutting hair for a long time. They wouldn't be in that position if they didn't know how. It's like, oh, they're going to do this. Man, I had my haircut there for 3 years. Usually once a week, 8 to 9 days. I never had problems with it. And the cost to it, nada. Use it. Number 8, maintain fitness. All right. Just because you're walking around the unit for 12 hours, that doesn't equal physical fitness. You got to get that heart rate up. You got to get a little cardio going on. One of the things I like to do before I'd get to the unit, or once I was just hanging out in the turnout room, I'd go to the back of the room and I'd stretch. I'd put my hands up on the wall, try to loosen up, limber a little bit, lean forward. When you get off, I'm not saying go to the gym. You don't have to be any kind of fitness buff. But if all you do is go to work at the unit, you eat that ODR food, you go home, you go to sleep, and on your 4 days off, you drink, you eat, you sit around the house, excuse me, that's not gonna work out. It's not gonna last long, especially if you're an older individual. Now, I had the benefit of being in my very late 20s, very early 30s. I'm sorry. So metabolism was still rocking. I'm 42 now. It's not anymore. And I got to fight for that stuff, and I do. Okay. I'm saying do the same thing. Look up online just some light fitness things, or you got medical benefits. Go to the doctor. Ask your doctor for some kind of a health thing that you can do, some exercises that will be good for you, something that coincides with your heart rate, your level of flexibility. Try and keep yourself fit. It'll make the days go by a lot faster, and you won't be as tired or exhausted at the end of the shift if you maintain that good physical fitness. Oh, and don't come to work hungover. Ever. It is absolutely horrible. You're going to stink, and you're just going to feel miserable all freaking day. Inmates are going to know, and they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to wear you out. Number 9, follow policy as best you can. You got your post orders, okay? You got your handbook. Use it. Do the job the way it's supposed to be done. It's so hard for me to say that because I violated so many policies while I was on the job just to get the job done. There were times we had to do things just to get by. If you break policy, you can be written up and walked off the unit. If you follow policy to the T, you can be walked off the unit or just forced to quit. Okay? This is an extremely slippery slope. Try to find that individual who does the job well, doesn't violate as many policies. It's going to happen at some point. I promise you. It's absolutely impossible not to. There's absolutely no way. And anyone who says that you don't have to, they're wrong or they're lying. So find that individual who has a good routine, buddy up to them, learn from them, stick to it, follow it as best you can. The second that you don't, or when you get in a bad habit of breaking policy, example of when we fed chow and seg, we were only supposed to open one food slot at a time. What would usually happen? The backup officer would go straight down the tier, pop all 7 slots. The one serving trays would slide that tray in each one of the slots. When you got to the end of it, shut that hatch and go all the way back. Move on up. It made it faster. We're able to get done quicker. Well, the problem with that, inmates could jack the slots. They stick their arm out through it. Per policy, you're stuck. You can't slap their arm. You can't slam the slot. Not saying I didn't. You're supposed to call the supervisor or talk them out of it. And all that does is just slow the day down and just make the day that much longer. The other problem with it, inmate sees you doing it, they write a I snitch form. You can get away with it for about a week or so, maybe. Inmate's going to ask you for something. You're not going to do it. All right. Inmate's going to write out that I snitch form. They're going to talk about the day that it was observed and done about. They're either going to go back and view the cameras, or the supervisor is going to believe the inmate. You're going to get questioned, and you're going to go up for disciplinary. It's going to happen. It happened to me. It happened to a lot of other officers that I know. Number 10, this would probably be the most important one out of all. Leave the unit at the unit. Don't take it home. Don't take it personal. It's easier said than done. I know that. I was guilty of it myself. When you walk outside those gates and you're in that parking lot, you still got the uniform on. Be who you were before you came to work. If you're taking it home every day, you may as well go ahead and get you a rack or get you a open cell there in SEG, because that's what it's going to feel like. When you get home, you're just going to be miserable. And heaven help if you got a significant other, children, and you start talking to them like they're inmates. The language that we use on the unit, you're going to start talking to your spouse about them or people in town. A lot of paranoia leads to it. I had trouble going out in town. I couldn't have people around me, big groups of crowds. Still kind of bothers me, but that's a different topic. So it's going to affect you. I covered a lot of that in my psychological video. Leave work at work. Go home, find your hobby. If it's working around the house, cutting the grass, video games, movies, try to drink in moderation. I've been there. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to excess. Don't turn to that as your coping mechanism. I'm not saying don't drink. Have some drinks, okay? But keep it in moderation. Go home. Go be who you were. Relax. Rest up. If it's religion that gets you through, follow religion. Get in with those individuals. Just don't bring the unit home to you. Don't come home and start talking about what happened. Maybe vent a little bit, but don't make that your number one thing. It's going to burn out, and you're going to walk off. Okay? Folks, I hope everyone's enjoyed this video. Once again, these are the top 10 things that will make a good professional corrections officer. It's not a comprehensive list. There's so many more. I could have done 100, but nobody's going to sit here and listen to a 3-hour video of me just talking here in my studio. Everyone have a great rest of your Saturday. Hope everyone stays safe. Take care of yourselves. Look forward to seeing y'all in the next video.